Professional wrestling, with its unique blend of athleticism and entertainment, has seen countless colorful characters come and go. Among the more memorable figures from the 1990s era of WWF is the character known as Doink the Clown. While at first glance, a clown might seem out of place in a sports entertainment setting, Doink's lasting impact on the company and the wrestling industry as a whole cannot be overstated. His eccentric persona, transformation into both a villain and a comedic figure, and involvement in some iconic storylines cemented his place in wrestling history. This video delves into the origins, development, and legacy of Doink the Clown, as well as his role in the broader context of WWF's evolution during the 1990s. Welcome to Wrestling with Me, the ultimate destination for wrestling fans. Get ready to dive into the world of high-flying action, jaw-dropping moments, and all the drama inside the squared circle. Whether you're here for legendary matches or in-depth analysis, this is the place to be. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay in the loop as we bring you the best wrestling content every week. The character of Doink the Clown was introduced in 1992 during a period when the WWF was shifting its focus to more family-friendly content, particularly in light of the rising popularity of kids programming. Initially, the idea of integrating a clown character into wrestling seemed somewhat incongruous with the typically gritty and tough personas that populated the wrestling world at the time. However, this innovative approach would prove to be one of the most unique and memorable characters in the history of professional wrestling. The original Doink was portrayed by Matt Bourne, a wrestler with a significant background in the industry. Born in 1962, Bourne had already worked in several territories under different gimmicks, but it was his portrayal of Doink that would define his career. When Doink first appeared, he seemed to be a light-hearted character, laughing and performing playful pranks on the crowd, often using his clownish antics to cause chaos. His antics initially seemed harmless. He would throw water balloons, squirt fans with his flower lapel, and generally make mischief. However, his true intentions soon became clear. Doink's character shifted to a more malicious role, positioning himself as an outright villain. This change came as Doink's behavior began to take on a darker tone. Rather than simply being a goofy figure, he would start to target wrestlers like Crush, whose popularity with the WWF audience made him a natural foil for the clown's antics. Doink would engage in mind games, using psychological tactics to manipulate his opponents. For example, Doink would often taunt his foes and mock their pain, giving fans an eerie sense of unease and discomfort that was a departure from the more traditional heels of the time. Doink, who had previously been a jovial figure, began to become a sadistic version of the clown archetype, complete with malicious laughter and over-the-top antics. This darker persona gave Doink an edge in the ring, as he often used underhanded tactics, such as the use of his prosthetic arm to strike his opponents. One of the most notable developments in Doink's career was the creation of multiple versions of the character. After a period of being portrayed primarily by Matt Bourne, the WWF began to introduce other wrestlers to take on the mantle of Doink. This gave rise to the multiple Doinks gimmick, where it appeared that there were several clones or versions of the clown running around, further deepening the mystery and mystique surrounding the character. At one point, Doink was seen appearing simultaneously in different places, leading to confusion among the fans. The confusion was intentional, as it allowed the character to toy with the perceptions of both fans and wrestlers alike. This concept was a precursor to the Mirage gimmicks that would later become a staple in the industry, where characters could manipulate their image in ways that blurred the line between reality and performance. The most memorable moment involving the multiple Doinks came in the lead-up to WrestleMania 9, where Doink and his clown army faced off against Crush. Fans watched in awe as it appeared that Doink had an army of clones, all of whom could be used to torment Crush. The playful, almost whimsical nature of Doink's character allowed for the storyline to carry a sense of mystery and suspense, which added an element of surprise to every encounter. Doink's comedic side became just as significant as his villainous persona. He was not only able to turn the wrestling ring into a stage for high-stakes drama, but also for slapstick comedy, offering a comedic contrast to the intensity of most of the roster. Doink's antics were frequently compared to the comedy stylings of professional comedians and vaudeville acts, making his character not only entertaining for children, but also offering a different flavor to the show. For example, his altercations with the likes of Macho Man Randy Savage involved interactions that were part physical wrestling, part comedic skits, Doink's pranks included pulling out oversized props, using rubber chickens as weapons, and performing classic circus tricks, all while maintaining the illusion of a heel character who had no true regard for the seriousness of his matches. In this sense, Doink became part of the WWF's new generation era at a time when the company sought to reinvent itself after the end of the golden age that included stars like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. The new generation era relied on younger, more diverse talents and gimmicks that could appeal to a broader audience. Doink the Clown, with his blend of comedy and subversive villainy, fit perfectly within this strategy. Though Doink's initial run in WWF was relatively brief, his impact was long-lasting. After Matt Bourne's departure from the company, various other wrestlers took on the Doink persona, including the likes of Ray Apollo and Steve Keirn, among others. This allowed the character to remain a part of the WWF's landscape, although never quite recapturing the same magic as Bourne's original portrayal. Despite this, Doink has remained a cult favorite among wrestling fans. His legacy can be seen in the continued use of clowns and eccentric characters in wrestling, and he is often remembered as a trailblazer for characters who blur the line between comedy and wrestling. The legacy of Doink also speaks to a time when WWE was still experimenting with outlandish ideas, showing that even the most unconventional characters could find success in the world of professional wrestling. The enduring popularity of Doink is also reflected in his occasional appearances in WWE video games, as well as mentions in documentaries and retrospectives. His place in WWE history is cemented not just through his impact in the ring, but also in how he represented a shift in the company's entertainment approach during the early 1990s. Doink the Clown remains one of the most distinctive and memorable characters in professional wrestling history. From his unsettling transformation from a harmless jokester into a sadistic villain, to his antics with multiple clones, Doink's legacy is multifaceted and enduring. As a character, he stood at the crossroads between pure wrestling and family-friendly entertainment, carving out a unique niche that entertained audiences of all ages. While Doink's time in the spotlight was relatively short, his contribution to the evolution of WWF's entertainment style continues to resonate with fans and wrestlers alike. Whether as a villainous trickster or a comedic oddity, Doink the Clown's impact on professional wrestling endures, cementing his place as one of the most iconic characters in the sport's history. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and a big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. See you in the next video.